You also have a little girl? Sure. Who is getting into the entertainment business? She really does have chops. Sophie, our daughter, is a wonderful kid. In terms of attitude, she's always been wild and full of herself. Also, she can go into business if she wants to. My daughter Sophie and I are both entering in the Miss Ultimate Sexy Baby Nevada Padres pageant. This is the biggest award there is. His daughter told him a shocking truth that broke Tom Hanks' life. He is known for playing nice characters and being friendly, but now he has to deal with a problem that could change everything. People love him for his great acts, but his daughter just told everyone something that has them all shocked. What big lie did she tell him that could hurt his job prospects? Does this news change how they feel about each other in Tom's job as a dad? Come with us as we look into this interesting family story. And how a popular father's life changes when his daughter tells the truth? With a broken career, Tom Hanks has always been one of the most recognized stars in Hollywood. People look up to him because they know they can count on him and that he cares about his family. He might lose his job forever because his daughter Elizabeth told the truth about something about him. This is a crazy plan, especially since Tom has long been praised as America's dad and is adored by people all over the world for his sweet parts and humble looks. Friends and family are sometimes the ones who know the stories that never get told. Even though he and his family have kept to themselves, people have always been interested in them. His first marriage gave him 2 kids, Colin and Elizabeth. His second marriage gave him 2 kids, Chet and Trudy. I'm Rita Wilson. While most of his children have gone on public careers, Elizabeth has mostly stayed out of the public eye and kept her life private. She doesn't want to be in the spotlight. Does this mean she knows something about her famous father's life that no one else does? Because she writes and edits for a living, she knows how powerful words can be. She has interesting knowledge that could change how people think about her father and knows how to tell a powerful story. She didn't want to hit the big time like her dad and brothers did. Some think it's because she wants to keep her privacy, but others wonder if there's more to her choice. Maybe she's trying to avoid family secrets by staying away from Hollywood. When your family is as famous as the Hanks, it's important to keep up a perfect picture, but it can be hard. Even though Hollywood is known for combining fame with controversy, Tom has worked hard for years to keep his good name. But what if Elizabeth chose to stay out of the public eye so she wouldn't have to deal with her bad reputation? Her ideas wouldn't come from a stranger. If she shared them, they would come from someone who has known him for a long time. The question then comes up, could this really be bad for Tom Hanks' reputation? The part of an icon that you can't see. It looks like Tom Hanks' life is almost too good to be true. A lot of people respect and admire him because he has been in Hollywood for a long time and played memorable parts in movies. He is well known for his great roles in movies like Castaway and Saving Private Ryan. A lot of people look up to him as an example of how to be humble and kind. But even the most famous people in Hollywood have problems in their daily lives. And Hanks is no different. He has been very open about the sacrifices his job has required and how hard it is to raise a family while being famous. But it's possible that the stress of fame and family has kept some parts of his life secret. Even though he cares a lot about family, he has always tried to find a good mix between work and being a dad to his kids. A big part of his life is spending time with his kids, but family relationships aren't always perfect. You might think that a father and daughter would be close, but Elizabeth's choices in life are very different from her father's, which makes her stand out. Most of the time, he has been able to stay out of problems, but it can be hard to live in Hollywood. There are times when fame and the attention can make family life hard in ways that aren't always clear. The world only sees the best of Tom Hanks because he spends so much time on set and dealing with what people expect from him. If she has seen a different side of her dad than how people see him, her thoughts might hold shocking secrets. That could hurt his job. What do we not know about Tom Hanks that might change how we see him? A poor beginning. There were some bumps in Tom Hanks' road to fame. Born in 1956 in Concord, California, he had a rough youth because his parents divorced and moved around a lot. We're living with different parents and moving from house to house. These tough times in his life made him strong. Even when he was young, he learned to depend on himself and deal with new things. His life was strange and full of problems. He became more down to earth because of these hard times, and his willingness to work hard made him stand out in Hollywood. His home life wasn't easy. He lived with his dad for a while, and they moved around a lot. His time in high school was already full of problems because he had been to several different places. Some people might have a hard time with this way of life, but he found something new that helped him deal with it. He felt stable and free when he was acting, which he didn't have as a child. He was also interested in the stage when he was in high school, where he found his love for telling stories. He finally went to college to study theater because of this passion, but he wasn't sure what to do next. He took a big risk when he moved to New York City to try to make it as an actor after college. It wasn't easy for him to be successful. He had to deal with rejection and unstable finances. But his resolve, which came from having a hard childhood, kept him going. He played a number of small parts and slowly became known in the business. He took every chance that came his way, no matter how small, and slowly built the foundations for what would become an amazing career. His past stayed with him even as he started getting jobs. It shaped the decisions he made and kept him steady in a tough field. Maybe the hard times he had as a child shaped not only his work, but also his morals. It was funny and emotional. Tom Hanks got his big break in Hollywood because he was funny. In the 1980s, he was in funny movies like Splash and Big, and his everyman charm quickly won over viewers. People loved him and looked up to him because he was funny, nice, and charming. In his roles, he made people feel like they knew the personalities. He stood out from other artists because of this skill. It got more interesting to him over time to play more serious and difficult parts. His career went in a totally different direction when he switched from comedy to drama. This change started with the movie Philadelphia, which came out in 1993, in which he played a lawyer who was fighting against disease and unfair treatment. For its time, the movie was a big deal, and his performance showed a depth and sensitivity that shocked many people who had only seen him in comedies. He showed that he could deal with tough topics and give important social problems a voice in this movie. He won an Academy Award for this, which showed that he was a serious actor who could play parts with a lot of emotion. After a year, he played the lead role in Forrest Gump, giving another great performance that made him one of the best players in Hollywood. Forrest connected with people on a deep level through his simple personality and wise observations. This part showed that he could tell strong stories. His work changed because of these big parts. He went from being a funny actor to one of the most recognized stars in Hollywood. As his career took off, the emotional weight of these parts, especially House O'Rourke's, probably had an effect on his personal life. He had to be open and emotional in order to get into character, which affected not only his acting but also his relationships outside of work. It was hard for him to play such intense roles, and the stress affected his home life, especially his relationship with his kids. People began to expect a lot from him as he played more serious parts. As he made more movies, he became more well-known, and people became eager to see more of him. He got a lot of attention as a Hollywood star because of his rising fame. But he had to deal with a lot of emotions in his new jobs, which had an unbelievable impact on his family life. How did his ties with his family change as his job changed? Did his success bring him new problems that he didn't tell anyone about? A family man struggles. Tom Hanks is a famous actor, but he is also a dad who knows how hard it can be to raise child stars. He loves his kids very much and has had to deal with the difficulties of managing his busy job with his family life. While each of his children has their own path and style, they have all been raised by one of Hollywood's most admired stars. It's not always easy to live at home, even if you come from a famous and wealthy household. Tom is known for being genuinely kind and humble. Family is very important to him, but it's been hard for him to balance the needs of his children with the demands of a successful acting job. Any family can feel stressed out by fame, and the Hanks family is no different. Colin, Elizabeth, Chet, and Truman all had to deal with public standards and comparisons as kids because their dad was famous. So he did what Tom did and became a great actor himself. But he has talked about how hard it was to grow up in the shade of his father. It's been hard for him to live up to the Hanks name, even though he has some of his dad's skill. Chet, Tom's second son, went in a different direction and had his own problems. Chet has been in the news a lot for reasons that have nothing to do with his father's clean-cut image. He is known for acting in ways that cause trouble and for struggling with addiction. He has said in interviews that he felt a lot of pressure to live up to his father's image, which made things harder for him. Tom Hanks is liked by many because he is seen as a great father figure, but fame always has a cost. He had to make sacrifices and deal with his own inner fights in order to keep up a good image while dealing with the harsh realities of Hollywood. When you're acting, especially in parts that are emotionally heavy, you have to dig deep into your own feelings and experiences. For Tom, this has meant being away from his family for long periods of time because he has taken on demanding jobs that could have an effect on his mental and emotional health. Over the years, it's been amazing to see how he's been able to stay grounded and humble despite his fame. He may have had trouble with his home life because he was so dedicated to his work. It's not just a job to act. There is a lot of time, energy, and emotion that goes into this dedication. As someone who often plays figures with strong emotions, it can be hard for him to separate himself from the role. In some movies, he played parts where the characters had to deal with being very alone and tough situations where they had to stay alive. This means he had to feel strong feelings that may stay with him after the movie is over. Having to balance this strong commitment with family duties must have been hard. Tom Wilson's wife, Rita Wilson, has been a big help to him, and the two of them have been deeply close for decades. It's still hard to keep a marriage together when one partner is often away on set or in public. Tom and Rita have both talked about how important it is for them to understand and help each other in their marriage. They think these ideals are important for their love to last. Being a good dad and having a busy job can be hard to balance, and it can put stress on any relationship. His work kept him from spending as much time with his kids as he used to. These gaps are becoming more obvious now that they are older and talking about their own lives. His long-lasting fame in Hollywood has also made his family have high hopes for him. You're not someone to touch out there. It's not likely that you'll look at some movies from 1941 and think, let's add all of today's technology to that. But look at what Bob Zemeckis can do. Being seen as perfect all the time can make you feel like you have to keep up that image, even if your real life is more complicated. It may have been hard for his kids to live up to this expectation because they had to live up to both their dad's success and his image for being honest and kind. Since the beginning of his work almost 50 years ago, there have been many high points. However, there are also a lot of pressures and expectations that come with it. It's possible that Tom's kids have been through more of this than anyone knows. Fame doesn't protect anyone from family problems. He was able to balance work and home life. How did he deal with the problems that came up after that? An unpleasant event. Tom Hanks' work and personal life look like they are full of praise and success, but he has had some hard times along the way. From his hard childhood to juggling fame and being a dad, his problems have not only changed him as a person, but they have also changed the parts he plays and the messages he sends through his work. His toughness goes beyond his job, though. He has had many public and private fights in his personal life. His wife, Rita Wilson, was struck with cancer, and the couple went through a hard time, helping each other get better and through treatments. This event brought his family closer together, and he has talked a lot about how the painful event has made their link stronger. This helped him show that, even though his job is important, his love and support for his wife and kids are still his top concern. He stands for being real, being warm, and having family values. He has been able to stay grounded in a field that is often full of fame and drama, which sets him apart from many of his peers. It's amazing that he's been able to handle the challenges of fame while staying true to himself. That not many people in Hollywood can say they've done. His children find this legacy to be both a blessing and a struggle as they try to make their own names in a world where last names are very important. His dedication to his family is just as important to him as his acting job. As a father, he has had a big impact on his kids' lives by always being there for them and helping them grow. It's very important to learn from Tom Hanks about being strong and true to yourself, especially in a world where fame is often more important than real connections. He shows that being great in Hollywood can be hard, but it doesn't have to get in the way of what's important. His strong faith in family and honesty leads his kids. He also talks to them about the love and connections we make. Even though his kids are going their own ways, they still carry the morals that their dad taught them. They will inevitably be changed by the lessons they learn from Tom, whether they choose to live quieter lives away from the public eye like Tom did. His family continues to follow the roads he helped make, which shows that they value being humble and honest. The story of their family shows how important family values are, even in the fancy world of Hollywood. Who do you think Tom Hanks' children will be when they grow up and go their own ways? Will they carry on the traditions of their father, or will they make up completely new names for themselves? Please tell us what you think in the comments. Don't forget to share, like, and follow for more. Also, click on the next video that comes up. It will be fun for you.